Abbots Ripton. Abbots Ripton is a village and civil parish in Cambridgeshire, England. Abbots Ripton is situated within Huntingdonshire, which is a non-metropolitan district of Cambridgeshire, as well as being an historic county of England. Abbots Ripton lies approximately 4 miles 6 km north of Huntingdon on the B1090. The parish occupied some 4,191 acres 1696 ha of land in 1801, which had reduced to 4,080 acres 1651 ha by 2011. The parish of Abbots Ripton is home to 305 residents 2011 census. The village is also notable as the location of the Abbots Ripton railway disaster in 1876, in which a Flying Scotsman train was wrecked during a blizzard. The disaster led to important safety improvements in railway signalling. The civil parish includes the nearby hamlet of Wennington, which lies 1 mile north of Abbots Ripton. Wennington has a population of about 60 people. History. Abbots Ripton was listed in the Domesday Book of 1086 in the hundred of Hurstingstone in Huntingdonshire. The name of the settlement was written as Riptoon. In 1086, there was just one manor at Abbots Ripton. The annual rent paid to the lord of the manor in 1066 had been p8, and the rent was the same in 1086. The survey records that there were 14 ploughlands at Abbots Ripton in 1086, and that there was the capacity for a further 2. In addition to the arable land, there was 16 acres 6 hectares of meadows and 3,784 acres 1531 hectares of woodland at Abbots Ripton. By 1086, there was already a church and a priest at Abbots Ripton. In 1870–72, John Marius Wilson described Abbots Ripton as follows: Ripton Abbots, a parish with a village, and with Wennington hamlet, in the district and county of Huntingdon, near the Great Northern Railway, 4 miles N of Huntingdon. Post town, Huntingdon. Acres, 3,956. Real property, ES 4,680. Pop, 381. Houses, 73. The property is divided among a few. The manor belonged to Ramsey Abbey, passed to the St. John's, and belongs now to E. Fellows and B. Roper, Esques. R. Hall is the seat of Mr. Roper. The living is a rectory in the Diocese of Ely. Value Ps 630. Asterisk patron, the Reverend P. P. Roper. The church is ancient and was restored in 1858. There is a national school. The origins and history of the name. Abbots Ripton ends in ton, which usually indicates a Saxon origin. The origin of the place name is from the Old English words rip, a strip of land, and ton, homestead or farm. Its name has appeared in various guises throughout its history. It was recorded as Ripton in the 10th century and Riptoon in 1086. It was during the 12th and 13th century that the abbot part came into the name. It was then owned by the abbot of Ramsey, and it was most probably just to distinguish it from King's Ripton, which was under royal ownership. During this period it was also known by the names of Magna Riptona, Ripton, and finally Ripton Abbaties. After the Reformation, the crown sold it to the St. John family, and for a time it was called St. John's Ripton before it became known by the name we know it today. Government. For Abbots Ripton, the highest tier of local government, Cambridgeshire County Council. Abbots Ripton is a part of the electoral division of Upwood and the Ravellies, and is represented on the county council by 1 councillor. The second tier of local government is Huntingdonshire District Council, a non-metropolitan district of Cambridgeshire. Abbots Ripton is a part of the district ward of Upwood and the Ravellies, and is represented on the district council by 1 councillor. As a civil parish, Abbots Ripton has a parish council, which consists of 6 members. Abbots Ripton was in the historic and administrative county of Huntingdonshire until 1965. From 1965, the village was part of the new administrative county of Huntingdon and Peterborough. Then, in 1974, following the Local Government Act 1972, Abbots Ripton became a part of the county of Cambridgeshire. At Westminster, Abbots Ripton is in the parliamentary constituency of North West Cambridgeshire and has represented since 2005 in the House of Commons by Shailesh Vara Conservative. Geography. The village of Abbots Ripton lies on the B1090, a minor road that runs from St Ives to the southeast to a junction with the B1043, northwest of the parish, close to the A&M motorway and just south of Sawtry. Abbots Ripton is situated 4 miles 6 km north of Huntingdon, 17 miles 27 km northwest of Cambridge, and 60 miles 97 km north of London. In 1801, the parish covered an area of 4,191 acres 1696 ha, but by 2011 this had been reduced to 4,080 acres 1651 ha. The village lies at around 29 meters 95 ft above sea level. The parish as a whole is almost flat, lying between 25 meters 82 ft and 45 meters 148 ft above sea level, with the lowest area in the southeast of the parish. Around 2 miles 3 km north of the parish the land slopes down close to sea level and the fens start. The northern half of the parish contains a number of wooded areas, including Wennington Wood, Holland Wood, and Hill Wood. The land in the rest of the parish is used for arable farming, mainly wheat, barley, and beans. The East Coast Main Line, that runs from London to Edinburgh, forms part of the western boundary of the parish and then crosses the parish to the north. The village of Abbots Ripton lies 0.5 miles 0.8 km to the east of the railway. Geology. In common with much of southeast England, the parish lies on a bedrock of Oxford clay formation mudstone, which is a blue-gray or olive-colored clay that was formed between 156 and 165 million years ago in the Jurassic period. Above this bedrock are superficial deposits characterized as Obi-member diamicton that has formed within the last 2 million years during Ice Age conditions by glaciers scouring the land. Close to the streams, the superficial deposits are of loose soil or sediments called alluvium that have formed during the last 12,000 years. To the northeast of Wennington, there are sand and gravel deposits formed by glaciofluvial processes in the mid-Pleistocene period. The soil is classified as lime-rich, loamy, and clayey, which has impeded drainage and is high in natural fertility. It is suitable primarily for arable farming with some grassland. In 1891, a borehole was made at Abbots Ripton Hall 52, 384 dig and 108 dig W/52, 384 180 and drilled to a depth of 209 feet 64 m, showing that there was 7 feet 1 m of clay, loam, and gravel on top of 153 feet 47 m of Oxford clay. Demography. Population. In the period 1801 to 1901, the population of Abbots Ripton was recorded every 10 years by the UK census. During this time, the population was in the range of 326, the lowest in 1811, and 408, the highest in 1871. From 1901, census was taken every 10 years with the exception of 1941 due to the Second World War. All population census figures from Report Historic Census Figures Cambridgeshire to 2011 by Cambridgeshire Insight. In 2011, the parish covered an area of 4,080 acres, 1,651 hectares, and so the population density for Abbots Ripton in 2011 was 47.9 persons per square mile, 18.5 per square kilometre. Education. There is a Church of England primary school in Abbots Ripton for children between the ages of 4 and 11 years old. The school building was designed by Peter Foster, who was the surveyor of Westminster Abbey. The Ofsted report from June 2015 gave the school an overall effectiveness rating of good. The school has places for 120 pupils, but in 2015 there were only 91 pupils on the school roll. Religious sites. The village parish church is dedicated to St. Andrew and is a Grade I listed building. The church consists of a chancel, north chapel, nave, north aisle, south aisle, west tower, and south porch. There was a church here in 1086, but there is no evidence of it in the present building, which was built in the early part of the 13th century. It was dedicated by the Bishop of Lincoln in 1242. The chancel was rebuilt at the start of the 16th century, a north chapel was added, and the present tower was constructed. The tower houses 3 bells, the oldest dating from around 1400, and there is a clock on the south face of the second stage of the tower. The clock was given in remembrance of Rev. Plumer Pot Rooper by his brothers and sisters. Restoration of the church took place in the second half of the 19th century. Landmarks. Abbots Ripton Hall. The village is home to the 18th century Abbots Ripton Hall, which now has an estate totaling 5,700 acres, 2307 ha, larger than Abbots Ripton itself. Abbots Ripton Hall is a Grade Roman II listed building that was built on the site of the old manor house. During World War II, Abbots Ripton Hall was used as a hospital. The gardens and parkland cover 8 acres, 3 hectares, and there is an ornamental lake of 10 acres, 4 hectares. The grounds contain some quite rare trees, including, quite unusual in England, a good collection of elm trees which are injected every year to prevent Dutch elm disease. Abbots Ripton Hall belonged in the 1800s to the Rooper family. John Bonfoy Rooper was MP for Huntingdonshire from 1831–1837 and High Sheriff of Cambridgeshire and Huntingdonshire. It is now the seat of John Fellows, 4th Lord de Ramsay. Scheduled monuments. There is a bull barrow about 1 mile 2 km southeast of the village, which is a scheduled ancient monument. The one at Abbots Ripton is 19 meters 21 yd in diameter, 1.015 high, with signs of a ditch 4.0 wide to the north and west. According to the English Heritage listing, it is exceptionally well preserved and it has not been excavated. There is a moated site in a small wood at Bellamy's Grove, 1 mile 2 km south of Abbots Ripton. The moat island is between 90 meters, 98 yd, and 100 meters, 109 yd east to west, and between 70 meters, 77 yd, and 90 meters, 98 yd north to south. Some signs still remain of the inner and outer banks of the moat. Within the island itself are 2 small rectangular fish ponds. The date when the moated island was constructed is not known, but it may well have been around the 12th century, when the inclusion of fish ponds within a moated island was at its most popular. According to the English Heritage listing, the moated site at Bellamy's Grove is one of the best preserved of its kind in the region. Culture and community. The village hall was also designed by Peter Foster, surveyor of Westminster Abbey. It was built in 1988 and opened by John Major. Abbots Ripton has a shop, garage, and a post office. In 2010, the only public house in the village, the Three Horseshoes, was severely damaged by a fire. The Grade Roman II listed 17th century building was rebuilt and reopened as the Abbots Elm in 2012. Since its inception in 2004, the Secret Garden Party Summer Music Festival has been held annually at a rural location near the village.